1:03 unless you wanna wait a few minutes, see if anybody else comes. Not expecting anyone. Okay. I will start then. Good afternoon, my name is Carol Rasmussen. I'm a project manager and duly authorized hearing officer of the County of Chautauqua Industrial Development Agency. I've been authorized to hold a public hearing pursuant to section 859-A of the New York State General Municipal Law as amended, and today is May 17th, 2022. The time right now is 1:03 p.m. We're in the Town Hall, 87 West Main Street, Brockton, Town of Portland, County of Chautauqua, New York. The agency, the CCIDA, has received an application for financial assistance in connection with the following matter. Omni Portland Solar LLC, a limited liability company, duly organized and existing under the laws of the state of New York, has presented an application for financial assistance. They've presented the application to the agency, which application requested that the agency consider undertaking a project consisting of the following. Number 1, the acquisition of an interest in an approximately 32.67 acre portion of an approximate 40 acre parcel of land located at 7820 Felton Road, Town of Portland, Chautauqua County, New York. And 2, the acquisition, construction, installation, and equipping on the land of 1 solar photovoltaic modulars mounted on a 1-axis tracking steel structure, 2 inverters and transformers, 3 underground and overhead electrical lines, 4 fencing, and 5 a system of access roads, parking, landscaping, and related improvements to the land, and 3, the acquisition and installation of certain furniture, fixtures, machinery, and equipment necessary for the completion thereof, and together with the land and the improvements collectively. And this is all considered the project facility. All of the foregoing for use by the applicant and or its affiliates as an approximately 5 megawatt AC solar powered electrical generation facility. B, the granting of certain financial assistance with the meaning of section 854.14 of the General Municipal Law with respect to the foregoing, and C, the lease with an obligation to purchase, license, or sale of the project facility to the applicant or such other entity as may be designated by the applicant and agreed upon by the agency. So the project facility would be initially owned, operated, and or managed by the applicant. The applicant would receive financial assistance from the agency in the form of potential exemptions or partial exemptions from real estate property, mortgage recording taxes, and sales and use taxes. This is the financial assistance they are requesting. The notice of this public hearing was published in the Jamestown Post-Journal on May 3rd, 2022. It was provided to the Chief Executive Officer of each affected taxing jurisdictions within which the project facility is or will be located by letter dated May 2nd, 2022. The purpose of this public hearing is to provide an opportunity for all interested parties to present their views, both orally and in writing, with respect to the granting of the financial assistance contemplated by the agency or the location or nature of the project. As set forth in the notice of this public hearing, comments may also be submitted to the agency in writing or electronically at the following email address: ras.mussc@chqgov.com. So subject to the applicable law, copies of the application, including an analysis of the costs and benefits of the project are available for review by the public online at www.cciga.com. So this public hearing is also being streamed on the agency's website in real time, and a video recording of this public hearing is being made and will be posted on the agency's website. This is all in accordance with section 857 of the New York General Municipal Law as amended. In addition, a report of this summary of this hearing will be made, and such report or summary of all comments received by the agency shall be provided to the agency's members and posted on the agency website. Comments received in writing will also be included in the report in any summary of this public hearing. So, at this time, I'd like to ask if there's anybody that wishes to be heard with respect to the project or the financial assistance. Any comments from the public?
The builder or the developer? Or?
No,
Oh,
Westfield.
okay, I didn't know if I was gonna be here or not.
No.
Okay. I had a question having to do with the, pilot amount. Has that been determined yet? Is that the purpose of this hearing at all?
Well, the purpose of the hearing is just to let the public know that, Omni has presented us with an application and asked us
Let's see,
for
so that-
sales tax advantage, mortgage tax advantage, and, yes, property tax.
Okay.
And we have a cost analysis, which is on our website and is available to you if you'd like to look at it. And the application also is available.
Has the amount been determined yet by
Well,
IDA?
the IDA is a 25-year pilot. There's an estimate that's on, I answer this, an estimate on the, what the project will be worth after it's completed. And, property tax, has been figured out in an estimate, a host agreement has been made. The town makes the host agreement with the
Right,
developer. So I'm not sure if that is determined. We have estimated and, the town has 31% of the pilot, so.
So, I guess what I'm getting at is I know pilot traditionally runs anywhere between, I think I've learned no lower than $3,200 per megawatt, up to around 5,000 per megawatt, is that correct? Somewhere in that range?
Yeah, somewhere in that range,
Yeah.
yeah.
Have they determined that range yet?
Well, our range is,
I mean, that amount, not the range.
5,000 a megawatt.
Is that what they're going for?
Mhm.
No?
Yes, and it's 5 megawatt project.
Is there any reason why it can't be lowered? And the reason why, and I will explain that, the reason why is, of course, I'm kind of one-sided, but the lower the payment, the lower the, pilot payment, the more money there is available for the host agreement.
Well,
This is
the host agreement will be determined by the town
Right.
and the developer.
But the developer
And
also
it
has.
can be, this isn't, written in stone, we believe this is what the town wants from our conversations.
Yeah, let me just put this in perspective. The public hearing is not designed to really, we take all this stuff back to the IDA, I'm the attorney for the IDA.
Okay.
And they in turn, have conversations with the developer and conversations with the town.
Okay.
And the sum total of those two are what's negotiated, and with the developer, and the town negotiates the host fee by itself.
That I know.
Yeah, and so it's really a function of that conversation. I honestly don't know, where that is. I'm not even sure it's ended up. But, this is the input. Your question is a good one. And the question goes back to, you know, as far as the mix between the two, mix between pilot payment and the host fee. And you represent the town?
No.
Okay, so that's the conversation.
Okay, and the reason I asked is because I have had conversations with previous developers, and they explained to me, we only have so much money to work with.
No question.
And the lower the pilot amount, which is distributed between the three, town, the school, and the county, the more money there is for us to work with you on your host community, your community host agreement.
Oh, fair question.
So I had called over, and I believe I may have talked to you or somebody at CCIDA, and they said, history shows that the lowest that we'll think about or even consider was 3,200. Don't know where that number comes from.
I don't know, because and I'll explain a little bit there, we're a little bit of a field here, but I'll give you the benefit of our
Sure.
conversation, is because the pilot covers 3 taxing jurisdictions.
Right.
And they all have a stake in this.
Right.
So we wanna make sure that the number is beneficial to all 3. Obviously, the host agreement is beneficial
To the town, which is what I'm looking for.
exactly.
Mhm.
So it's that conversation, there is a minimum where the IDA has sort of said, we're not gonna go less than. The difference is that which is negotiated between the developer and the town. And at some point, the developer says, this is too expensive, I'm not doing it. And that's just an economic
Right.
conversation. They don't tell us what that number is, but that's how,
tough.
that all the dynamics that go on. So there is a minimal fee at this, minimal, that the pilot makes sense.
Right.
And because they represent, the IDA is doing it on behalf of 3 municipalities, so looking out for the best interest of everybody.
Yeah.
The sum total, when all the mix occurs, usually ends up with the town being beneficiaries of about 30-some% of the total. And that's a
just
pretty good day.
That's just kind of a ballpark figure based on the 5,000 or based on just the average or?
Whatever the number is.
Yeah, so yeah, it's,
Whatever the number is, but the percentage, and that's where you know, of the whole.
yeah, I do understand the developer side of it very well. I've talked to them over for several different projects.
Yeah.
And, in fact, in the previous town I came from, we worked with Solar Liberty, and then we're working with Solar Liberty here. So, yes, I didn't know, the reason I came here is to find out if that amount has been established before the public hearing, that's all.
No,
Okay, that's fine.
that's the answer to that.
That was a long way of getting to a short question, and that's,
No, and you must, it's important for the record to say that the IDA does not even consider an application for a developer to do a solar project without the town saying, we want it.
Okay.
Or they'll accept, I should say.
so whether it's
Correct.
yes, that's different.
It is.
So
But it's acceptable that if they reject an application and the developer comes to town, we don't consider it.
No, because of the location of it and the visibility or lack thereof, sounds very commendable to this particular project, so, I'm just trying to get as much as I can turns out to be a pet project, I'll say that, we need a new ambulance in our fire department, I'm
Sure.
also on the planning board, and I'm trying to steer as much money as we can to that, so that we can, get an ambulance, we need one. That's,
Fair question.
that's it in a nutshell, so.
Yeah.
Go ahead, I'm sorry, I don't want to take up too
No,
much of your
it's
time,
okay.
but.
Are there any more questions? Okay, then, let's let the record show that there are no other comments, or there was nothing submitted in writing at 1:17 PM. I'll close the public hearing.